engineers kind of in the lead, but acting as kind of a player to bring other agencies together for data collection during the high flow that incorporates the Esri collector application. And so I guess I might ask to get started, how many of you are familiar with the collector application? Okay, and so what this, it's kind of a major advancement because what we're able to do, okay, what we're able to do with the collector application, it serves purpose for all kinds of disciplines, okay? And it allows you to take your phone or tablet. Let me turn this off. There you go.
So you will have to speak into the mic a bit.
Okay.
To hold it.
Okay, let me do that. That might be better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, also let me say that this presentation was supposed to be made by my successor, Deanna Wilson, who unfortunately has the flu today, so she couldn't make it. So this is the first time I've seen the presentation before, but this is the first time I'll be presenting it. And so we'll see how this goes. So one of the primary things we wanted to share here is that the application was built as a multi-agency collaborative tool that allows people that have the collector application that's been built to go out, collect photographs, and the application has, it's like a form that you fill out, and then you are able to upload that to the cloud, okay? And your location is based on the accuracy of your phone, if you're using a phone or tablet, if it has a, if it's GPS enabled. And then there's also ways to enhance the location with GPS booster systems. There's a number of commercial ones that are out there. We're using, you might have heard of Bad Elf is one, Trimble has one, EOS is another. But what they do is they Bluetooth, that's a GPS device, to Bluetooth to the phone to give you higher accuracy. And that information gets pulled into what's pushed up to the cloud, okay? And then in the office, we go into our account, and then we can pull this information down and map it. And then we can also take that information, the attributes that are pushed up to the cloud and pulled down, we can then build reports from that at the desktop. Very powerful for, think of all the disciplines that are taking advantage of being able to take advantage of that. And it's been around for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, but it's just, this year was the first year that we put together this, this effort to make it a multi-agency activity to monitor what was going on during the high flow. I won't read this, but and here's some of the, like again, some of the GPS booster tools that, your phone will get you down to maybe, I don't know, 10 feet, something like that, which isn't bad when you're out in the field. That might work. For example, this is Bruce Jordan out there documenting sloughing on probably a spoil bank down south. And the application was built to include the stakeholders that you see here, MAFCA and ISC and MRGESCP, the Pueblos, BOR, SCAFCA, and then ourselves. I think we have a few others in there, but the point is we set you up, you can go out and collect data and push it to the same account. We can pull it down and we can report for whether it's critical, whatever you can filter out what you want to build into a report. And it gives you near real-time data delivery, so you can use that for planning, decisions making, and so on. This is one a little more technical. slides in that we build all this information into the application. We point you to where it's residing, you download it onto your phone, and then we show you how to use it, and you're off and running. And I think before we got done, we had something like over 1,000 points that were input from different agencies. All these color-coded players are the dots that you see up and down the river here, and the fact that you can upload photos and kind of data that you're interested in having. We kind of built this thing to tackle the common questions that we thought would be useful for kind of the common denominator of interests. Some of these are some of the problem areas that were tackled. You can see this. I think this is the house south of Bernalillo. It's getting ready to be washed away. So when you bring it up in ARC, it'll look like this. We can also build in not just the points, but we can put in base map information in the application, so you can get a relative feel for. In this case, there are drainage areas and streets and basic information that you can turn off and on inside the application. So it's a really powerful way to gather data and to co-participate. Not sure where this is, but you can kind of get the idea that it's information that is going to be very useful. What we're looking at here is we call it the feature reporting tool. The Corps built an application over that's housed in Charleston District. And what this does, Esri built it for the Corps. And what we do is we go into our collector application, we fire up the application, we bring the features that we want to report on into this application, and then let it run, and then it'll pull down a Word document that's editable. And so if we're interested in reporting, we might want to think about replicating this system or coming up with something that would be able for us to do the same thing that we're able to do through this core application for pulling information into an environment. Because if you've taken photographs in the field that are separate from attributes and all, it's, you're spending hours tying the two together. I think that's it. So how many people here have used Collector or using it? Okay, so if there's any questions you have as to details of what was put together here, I would ask you to give us a call, and I'll direct you to Deanna Wilson, who can tell you how she built it. If you have any input as to what other or information that you'd like to see built into the application, we're all for that. So, any questions? Yes.
Mike Allen, Grande, I just wanted to make a comment. We used to extensively during the 2019 runoff scenarios, primarily below those buffalo boundaries, to monitor the soil levee conditions on a basically hourly basis as often as we can get out there to determine whether or not those levees were going to be sustainable through the runoff period. And there was a lot of damage to the interior of the sloughing of the canal, of the drain banks, kind of daily moving towards the levee itself in some cases, and that helped us mobilize equipment and work with the ISC to throw everything that we could at it, take it through the runoff period, and also create ammunition to cry uncle to the colonel to turn down when we needed to. So you can use the information to your benefit to influence the Corps, on certain occasions. So but it's an invaluable tool. It was very helpful in letting our local government jurisdictions, emergency response people, keep them up to date about potential areas that could be a problem for response, and informing the public about the conditions of the levee, et cetera. So I think it's a very useful tool, and we used it extensively in this period.
So thanks. And so, when we move through different periods that would already have joint venture interests, we can kind of come together and figure out if there's an application, I don't know, endangered species, inventorying, that sort of thing. I think that kind of stirs your imagination as to the possibilities that the application can be used for. So just, I'd say, bring your ideas to leadership, and we'll be off and running. So anyway, I think that's it for this presentation.